Welcome, everybody, to the Ring Generals podcast. My name is Nick Nenad. Alongside me is Eric.
What's happening?
And the RKJ man.
Welcome to the battlefield. Let's talk that talk, y'all.
Boom. Hey, going back to our first name ever.
Yes,
Welcome
sir.
to the
That
battlefield.
was the first episode.
Yeah.
We might have a lot of people listening to us for the first time, so I had to reintroduce them.
Why is that?
Well, shout outs to the homie Aaron Rift. All right, shout outs to No DQ. The Ring Generals took over LA. We came, we saw, and we conquered.
Yes, unlike SmackDown.
Unlike
Or like
SmackDown.
Raw.
Woo!
Yeah, no, so obviously.
You can just watch SmackDown right now.
Who pissed off Vince McMahon
100%, yeah,
on
that's it.
SmackDown? Who made Vince McMahon so angry that SmackDown had to get the beta male show treatment?
It was
not
a
sure.
sweep.
By the way, did you guys hear a little shout out to Ryan this past Raw? Bobby Lashley using the beta male. Did you hear that?
He's using my
yeah.
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
At the very beginning of the show,
Hey,
he's
man,
like
that's what
all these beta males in the stands.
He's using my stuff, bro.
Is it Lashley?
I'm sliding his DMs right
Is it
now.
Lashley
I'm
or-
getting that cease and desist.
Is it Lashley or Leo Rush who's kind of getting into?
No, well, maybe.
Somebody, because we have some people from the WWE who's liked, like, you had a referee that liked one of your posts, Nick. So, from the WWE. So, it's possible that somebody from the WWE could be listening to our show.
And I heard about you calling people beta male bitches.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
hope Corey Graves listened. Corey
He
Graves, I
was-
hope you listened.
Got some heat. Bro.
yeah.
We got some heat.
You know, we weren't that far away from him at the event.
Well, we weren't, and I booed Corey Graves.
Much like we booed a lot of other people. But
Oh, yeah.
so
A lot of them.
Who got
obviously,
booed more than Nia Jax,
obviously
though?
we were at
That was a lot of us. Boo.
I'm trying to start the show. You guys are excited today. I like it. Eric's more excited than usual over there. I can see it. He's all right because he knows we got a big boxing match to talk about.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of good things.
So so obviously Ring Generals took over Survivor Series. We attended the show. Just Survivor Series. We didn't go to NXT. We didn't go to Raw or SmackDown or anything like that. But Survivor Series, we definitely were in attendance, solid seats, along with my brother Chase.
The protege.
Shout outs to the protege.
Absolutely. We will be. You'll probably see this in the the aftermath of this podcast is editing and stuff like that. But we took some videos. We did some stupid stuff there and stuff like that, and we got to meet some great people, including Aaron Rift, Jeff Meacham, the guys from
City Wrestling Radio.
Yep, exactly.
Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, shout outs to them.
Absolutely.
Shout outs to the No DQ Galaxy.
100%. Yeah, we met a lot of
The homie
people.
Cindy G.
Absolutely, and they were all really cool too. And
Oh,
they
shout
were,
outs to Interstate Kyle, by the way, with the McDonald's coupons. I went that night and got me some.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Man, my girlfriend and I went out the next night, and we were in LA. We went to McDonald's. And I drove the different car, so I didn't have it.
Oh crap.
I was
Well,
like,
that's
man, we had free fries and all this stuff.
They
and-
expired on that Sunday.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
Okay,
they expired
well,
on
wouldn't
that
matter.
Sunday.
That
So you
makes
would
me-
have just been
that makes me feel a
It makes sense.
little better because I missed the McDonald's coupons and I missed Rams Chiefs. So, nonetheless,
Yeah, you should feel bad about the Rams Chiefs.
I
man.
did, and the guys on the Cover 2 podcast made me feel bad about it. But nonetheless, we attended Survivor Series. I thought the show was pretty good. I was thoroughly entertained. I was into it. I had a couple beers. And my brother enjoyed it. I think you guys enjoyed it. Besides the fact that SmackDown got their ass kicked. But
I enjoyed it, but looking back on it, man, it's just booking that confuses me. It just doesn't make any sense with the Charlotte Flair situation. I was confused. I was like, everybody's cheering. I'm just like, I don't know what the heck to do.
I mean, the thing is that, and I know I talked to you guys about it as soon as we were on our way back home. There was a lot of mixed feelings about it, but also at the same time, there were a lot of last minute changes. I mean, I think as soon as we got into the building, wasn't there like a segment that happened backstage where
Yeah, it
the
was on the
Iconics,
pre-show.
Yeah, the Iconics got, or who, I don't know who it was, but they got ambushed.
Natalia, Ruby Riott, and them had something go down
Yeah.
and enabled Sasha Banks and Bayley, who were originally off the Survivor Series team, to come on the Survivor
yeah,
Series
which made the match a little better. Having Bayley and Sasha, having
Yeah.
some faces on that team. There was literally no baby faces.
It can make sense. It makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
As far as the main event goes, I thought it was a pretty good match. I just thought that I didn't want the match to be just like one-sided with Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar, but we'll probably talk more about that a little bit later, right? Or right now? You wanna
talk about right now?
Let's talk about it right now.
Yeah, I
and we
mean-
could talk about how crappy Raw was last night.
I really had no interest in watching it, to be honest. There was a movie passing by, so I just watched it.
We watched Rush Hour.
Rush Hour, that's right.
And like I said on Instagram Live, it's one of the few movies where the black guy does not die in
That
the
is
end.
true.
So I endorse that movie.
Yeah.
The black guy
I
doesn't
love that
die.
movie.
A lot of Chinese people, though. A lot of Chinese people die in that movie. It's unfortunate for the Chinese
It's
population.
very unfortunate, but the black population's taking a lot of losses ourselves.
Well, we all love Jackie Chan, right? We all love Jackie Chan.
Shout out to Jackie Chan, man.
Shout out to Chris Tucker, man.
Chris
One of the
Tucker.
best comedians ever that hasn't done much, right? Like he kind of just
He's
sat
like
on his
low
money.
key, yeah.
He sat on his money. And,
Oh yeah, that is true. That's
Yeah.
true. He got saved though.
But
he
one
got
of
saved.
but one of the funniest guys ever, Chris
yeah.
Tucker, low key. But Chris Tucker was not in Survivor Series. So we
No, he
probably
wasn't.
He was
should
not
start-
at Survivor
No.
Series.
That would have been cool, though.
No.
Although
But
there
what-
was.
I heard.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second because I think that's going to be a segment for a little bit later.
yeah,
one
that's
of
true.
one of our
We'll
segments.
build it up.
Yeah, one of our segments that usually features some a little bit of ranting, maybe might be on
I didn't
a
expect
former
that.
WWE superstar.
I didn't
that
expect it, but-
they made an appearance at the
Yeah.
show.
And also had one of the crappiest performances I have ever seen in a concert venue ever.
Yeah,
Wait,
but
you-
we're not going to mention his name. We're not going to mention
I
his
think
name.
Carl Lewis did a better job than him singing the national anthem.
Yeah, I think Big Ass would have done better. And that's a
Big
hint.
ass.
Big nipple?
Big nipple. Yeah, big nipples.
Allegedly.
No, is it allegedly? It's allegedly that Big Cass got big nipples.
I mean, I don't know. There's a picture right there. You judge for yourself.
Yeah, Ryan sends us this stuff. RKJ man, excuse me, sends us this stupid stuff on Instagram of either women in the business or guys
A
with
lot
big
of them
nipples or
out
some weird shit like that.
I just send things that just make me entertained.
Yeah,
Okay, on social media.
absolutely.
If it entertains me, it's just like anybody else. You send stuff to your friends that is entertaining to you in social
I
media.
bet.
Okay.
So, what was your guys' speaking of entertaining? What was your most entertaining moment of Survivor Series?
Well,
wow.
for me, seeing Brock Lesnar the first time, that's to me that's more of a personal thing because I've never seen Brock, but and I was telling this to my friend who's also a Braun Strowman fan. Shouts to you, Sal, and I know you're talking. Keep on deadlifting.
That's insider information.
That's
right there.
way too insider.
No, he listens to the podcast, so
I-
Hey
Oh,
man,
yeah.
shout outs to what's his name? Sal?
Sal.
Shout out to Sal.
Shout outs to Sal.
Shout out to
homie.
He's a fan of Braun Strowman and also the Road Warriors. So
Ooh.
oh yeah.
Old fashioned wrestling fan right there.
Yeah, so I told him more about Braun Strowman because he was more fascinated about seeing Braun Strowman. I said, oh yeah, man, like it's one thing seeing Braun Strowman on TV, but the other, seeing him in person.
You mean
yeah.
Brock Lesnar? Or Braun Strowman?
Both.
Oh, okay,
Both
okay,
guys.
gotcha.
Both guys. Seeing that and also the match itself, I kind of wish it could have been a little bit better, but I think I was a little bit satisfied over the ending. I was just a little bit worried about Daniel Bryan's neck.
Yeah, that's true.
He almost got killed. One
Yeah.
thing.
First
I
one.
literally said, "Oh my God, you're gonna kill that man." He literally slammed on the back of his neck or head area, and I was just like, I literally screeched.
Well, but the thing with him, and I actually heard before the show that Lesnar had heat for dropping people on their necks because he dropped one of the Singh brothers on
Yeah.
their necks a while back.
but nobody's gonna do anything. That's
Well,
what makes
no,
it real
no,
when he
th-
throws people around.
That's
on
true.
Their heads.
But Daniel Bryan it was concussions. It wasn't a neck issue. So if he broke his neck, for example, that would be a new injury. That wouldn't be a repeat of what he had. Obviously, you don't want to be landing on your head at all. But not saying that a broken neck is a good thing, but the neck is not what he was on the shelf for 3 years. It was his head. It was, for example, if he did one of those stomps he does.
It was
to
years.
himself,
It was years.
that'd be a little
of-
worse.
a
it was-
build up from being in the wrestling
Yeah.
business
Yeah.
and getting slammed on his head and having
yes.
countless concussions.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was just years of building up. It wasn't just like one match or
True.
2 matches.
Very
It
good
was
example.
years of building up, and then it just caught up to him, and which forced him to retire.
No,
a couple
100%.
years ago.
Absolutely.
And I think also you could see he changed his moveset. That move he does where he kicks people in the corner. He now uses the ropes so that he doesn't land on his neck and head.
More safer.
And he takes a more safer bump.
Yeah.
He has a more traditional bump instead of just going full straight up and landing on his head as he's trying to kick
absolutely.
somebody.
Yeah, no.
It's much more smarter.
brutal.
Yeah, much more smarter for Daniel Bryan to do it nowadays.
Yeah, so good for him. But I echo that too. That was one concerning part of that match is that Brock was just beating the hell out of him.
Yeah.
Right, and this is my most entertaining match
yeah.
too that I saw because of
I
this
don't
because of
know.
the story well, it's my match, Ryan. I can.
Okay, so
You can
you're
have your
going-
match in a second.
we're going to you.
Let me
Okay.
explain my entertaining match first. But I liked Brock Lesnar and Daniel Bryan because of the story they told in the ring, and that's old school, and it's not really what a lot of people necessarily like in the wrestling business, or at least what I get from like wrestling Twitter, is that they want to see people just kick each other in the face over and over again like it's a UFC fight. and hit every move possible. Well, I'm a little bit more old school. I like a story to be told. And Daniel Bryan coming back from the dead in that match and literally almost making Brock Lesnar tap and hitting countless finisher moves on him was extremely entertaining. And me and my brother, we've always wanted to see somebody tap in the center of the ring. Back in the day, a lot of the big WrestleMania main events, people tapped. I can remember Triple H at WrestleMania 22 as an example of that. And so I just think that was such a cool thing. And then Lesnar winning was the better way. Well, Lesnar's better than Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan doesn't need to win a match like that when there's 5 days of promotion. If there's 3 months of build, Daniel Bryan.
It was a
probably
last
wins.
minute thing that they did with Daniel Bryan.
But it was a
and
great
Brock.
match for last minute, and I think it was entertaining for me because of the story. I like the story.
But I think it's confusing as well because you were building him up to be a heel, but yet at the end of the match, we were all cheering and rooting for Daniel Bryan. So if you're gonna turn him heel, don't you want to turn him heel after the whole Brock Lesnar situation?
I think people. I think they didn't give any like us a choice to who should cheer because we all know what Brock's motto is. He goes in there, suplexes guys left and right, gives you 1, 2, or 3 F5s, and then calls it a day because we've seen it before many countless times. And so for us fans, who's a better who should we cheer for? Do we want to cheer for Brock? Do we want to cheer for Daniel Bryan? Then that's the next best thing,
And also, I think with Daniel Bryan, he turned heel. But he turned heel in a matter of a second. It wasn't like the Dean Ambrose thing where he beats up Rollins, DDTs him on the floor, or a lot of other. It was real quick, and he won the WWE Championship.
a little blow.
He stomped him
he
at the
stomped
end.
on AJ Styles, but it wasn't like a full. You were wondering, why did he do this? Why did he do this? AJ Styles has had some heel tendencies too, so that it wasn't out of the question that Daniel Bryan could just turn in the match. But everyone knew going in 5 days of build, we're still cheering for Daniel Bryan because nobody wants Brock to win against a guy like that.
He's just, even if you build him as a face, Brock Lesnar, you can't really say he's the face because all he shows up once in a blue moon every now and then, and by that time he's doing just 10 moves and that's it. He's done.
Yeah.
His matches are nothing. So nobody's going to cheer for him. So that's why I was like, well, you turned him heel, but it doesn't make sense. And then we saw him again after SmackDown.
Well,
and
also,
he gave that explanation and he got heel heat. And he still got some heel heat at the show, but he got cheers at the end.
Also, by the way, you're talking about a person turning heel on someone after a match. They already did that in the show, the match prior. Charlotte Flair turned heel at the end of a match. Because if you watch SmackDown, the SmackDown after in
this
Staples
was my
Center,
match. That was my match. That was
Charlotte. Okay,
so
I can see why.
I'll lead into your analysis. Charlotte, she turned heel. You don't beat up a face like that as a face. It just doesn't happen. Okay? And Charlotte beat the living hell out of Ronda Rousey, hit her in the head with a kendo stick, bruised up her body, unlike I've seen anybody ever get bruised up by a kendo stick. So
Those were some hard shots.
yeah, and then she
Those
kind
welts.
of kept up the heel tendencies on SmackDown the next day. She's not a super heel. She's not like Daniel Bryan who kind of went nuts. It seems like, and it is mad that the fans didn't appreciate him or whatever that is. She's just saying, Ronda Rousey's the big girl around here, and someone needed to kind of teach her a lesson, and it's all about SmackDown stuff like. So she's not a full heel, but she's
turning more into a tweener. She's getting more of a. I think what we want to see now of our faces is we want to see more of that aggressive side. We want to be able to see that side that can get that competitive side that can actually go toe to toe with anybody. Usually nowadays the faces are goody two shoes. We all argue about how they're goody two shoes, and there's no
Balor,
real.
sorry.
Yeah.
I had a cough.
Finn Balor sucks. Okay.
You were a fan favorite of Finn Balor. Now
Because his moves are like everybody else's.
He has nothing. He has no qualities about him that makes him the star of the company until he turns into the demon, and that only happens every now and then. So all it is a
only when he
supermodel.
needs to.
All it is a supermodel coming out, and he's looking like a supermodel. Plus, that Finn Balor picture.
This one?
Oh, the one that you sent us?
With him.
Oh, yeah.
That's Seth Rollins.
A little Dwight Howard stuff going on right there. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
What's going on with Finn Balor? Okay. Anyway, getting back to
He's just screwing with you guys. That's what he's doing.
He's an artiste. Yeah, sure he is. But anyway, I think it's a situation with the Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey thing where that matchup was set up for WrestleMania, I think. And then because of the Becky Lynch situation, it was like, well, whatever, we'll just shoehorn her in. but still, there's still a high demand for the Charlotte Flair matchup. My only thing is this: where do we go from here? Number one, here's a couple things I learned from Survivor Series. Women's wrestling right now in the WWE is a hell of a lot better than men's. I'm way more entertained by watching the women's wrestling matches than I am the majority of the time than the men.
But on Raw and SmackDown and NXT too.
Not NXT.
But
okay,
you're
but
telling
NXT,
me when
saying,
when you watched Raw, you didn't at least think of or actually skip through a lot of those women's segments.
I did, because those segments are garbage. I'm talking about.
But that's what you're saying. That
I
the
skipped through most
production
of
is
Raw. I skipped through most of Raw.
I'm just
And
saying.
I skip through a lot of SmackDown sometimes too if I feel like it's garbage. But
the main
SmackDown's-
event women are, I agree, putting on better shows than men. But everybody else, it's very pedestrian.
But that's because they're not letting them do it. They're putting them in crappy 6 to 8 women tag
they
team
need a
matches.
tag team title.
And it's not just for the women too; it's for the men too. The men are getting put in crappy tag team matches. We talked about this constantly.
Kind of like what we saw in the pre-show.
Oh God, that was by far the worst thing. The pre-show match was so unentertaining. Besides
The Survivor Series one? I thought it
besides
was
Chad
good.
Gable getting like
We saw massive amounts of botches, by the way.
Oh yeah.
that first match, right?
Yeah, we saw
Yeah.
all throughout the show. We saw in that first match, we saw tons of botches. I was like, ooh.
That just shows how little faith they give to these wrestlers in the pre-show. I'm sorry.
No, I mean this, but I remember the days where it was Shield versus Usos in the pre-show, right? Those were some entertaining matches. Sometimes stole the whole show.
In the pre-show or in the second match. Like
Those were
lower
so good.
card.
And now they're ruining the bar
Yeah.
and the New Day and all that stuff. Just putting them in turkey matches, all that BS.
Let's not talk about the New Day anymore, man. I don't want to have any more conversations about that crappy tag team. I don't want to have any more crappy conversations, okay?
I love the New Day.
I just think they're just doing those dudes wrong for a lot of reasons. They're just doing them wrong.
Do you think they should be split?
Absolutely.
I think Big E needs to turn on. I remember I was calling this shit like 4 months ago.
We were calling
It
this
needs
at
to be turned.
WrestleMania. We were actually calling
Big
it at
E
WrestleMania
needs
when
to
I
turn.
think that's what Kenny Omega said. He said that these guys should be split. These are actually like my favorite guys. That Big E should be main event, and he said that Xavier's an awesome promo guy.
And Kofi's still a great
And
dude, too.
Kofi's a great
Kofi's
athlete.
awesome.
Yeah, so there's no need for them
So
to
let's
be.
just, let's stick to him and have Xavier
Yeah.
blow his horn.
And
Or,
Xavier-
or what they could do is Xavier can go up to the main event, and Kofi Big E can go up to the
Yeah.
main event, and Xavier and Kofi can be in the tag team division or do their own things separate.
Yeah.
What if you have something like this? What if you have one of those random, battle royals to see who gets a title shot and stuff like that, and then somehow one of the New Day guys is in a WWE Championship match, right, with Daniel Bryan or whatever. That's where Big E turns on
Maybe
them.
the Royal Rumble.
Right.
No, but we have too much. We have an obsession with heels right now in the WWE. Somebody's got to be a babyface.
True.
Like we have got.
Still got Seth Rollins though.
He's gonna turn heel before you know it. Crowd's gonna turn on him in a second. Too,
Not
with
right
his
now.
crappy
Not right now
promos.
with Dean Ambrose and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But our favorite match it seemed like was Lesnar and Daniel Bryan.
Lesnar, Daniel Bryan, and also you can say Charlotte and Ronda. But
Wow, that matchup, by the way, I meant to talk about the Charlotte Flair Ronda Rousey thing. Like, that matchup was so fast paced at
Very
the
good.
beginning.
Very good match.
Very good how they started it off with just basic mat skills wrestling, almost like amateur wrestling, like how they
Yeah.
started it off. And it just continued to go. And they told a great story. And then I didn't even see Charlotte Flair pull out the kendo stick. So it timed it perfectly.
Let's all be in agreement that we were all pissed on the classic 5-man Survivor Series match that Samoa Joe got eliminated
What?
immediately.
They
What
had
are
him
they doing with
eliminated.
Samoa Joe,
Yeah, they had
man?
him eliminated after he almost eliminated Drew McIntyre, which would have been. I think having McIntyre eliminated during the match early like that in the very beginning would have told a better story in that match too, because they would have been like, that was our guy besides Strowman, and now he's gone. And it would because then Raw ended up just beating them like 3-1 or 4-1 or some stuff like that in that match. But
3-1.
yeah, so if you eliminate McIntyre, it's 2-on-1, which is a little more feasible. But then they made Raw look so good. Now Raw does have technically the better guys. You have a bunch of giants like Lashley and Strowman and Drew who would beat up guys like The Miz and Shane McMahon and Rey Mysterio. That makes logistically realistic sense,
Yeah.
right? But it just seemed like SmackDown got the job, especially in that match. The women's match made a lot more sense, but. I think we can talk about guys getting the job a lot for SmackDown. Now, Nakamura probably didn't need to beat Seth Rollins.
It's just ridiculous what they're doing to SmackDown, especially since the fact that they're moving to Fox. They're the better brand, in my opinion. They put on the better shows, and they're moving to Fox. And on top of that, when we were talking to our homie Jeff Meacham, you can buy a ticket easily to SmackDown. Nobody goes to SmackDown. Nobody
But maybe
goes.
that's why they don't. See, that's the problem. So us fans, we're not even like showing SmackDown respect. So the WWE is like, well, why should we? That's the problem.
No,
that
but
actually proves it right there.
But
that
SmackDown got respect by getting $1 billion on Fox.
Well, true, but if it was Raw, they would have got $2 billion. You know what I'm saying?
But Raw's 3 hours. SmackDown's 2.
Well, yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm saying the fact that you even said that proves that is what WWE is looking at. It's all about the money, and they're seeing SmackDown. People aren't going to SmackDown. They're not going to live events. So why are we going to promote it? Us hardcore fans like it, but
they just don't see it in their eyes.
It's in the money.
WWE in their press release talking about SmackDown going to Fox was promoting it like it was the bigger brand. And on top of that, there's reports going all around. Fox wants SmackDown to be a big show. Fox doesn't want to cross-promote with NBC Universal because Fox is competing with NBC Universal.
I mean, that's going to be amazing when they're actually
competing. So they actually want the brands to stay how it is.
So
they don't want to cross-promote.
Here's the thing.
So you got to put stars on SmackDown.
It looks like Fox does a better job of promoting SmackDown, so WWE screw SmackDown. Let's just give Fox, to them, and also Fox can just promote the living hell out of freaking SmackDown.
Well, WWE will still own SmackDown.
They will
of course, but who do they promote more? Raw.
Oh, well, yeah, I see what he's saying.
They absolutely do. But I think what needs to happen now with SmackDown moving forward is there needs to be an aggressive campaign to make it relevant, because you've absolutely buried the brand in Survivor Series.
Yeah.
And
swept.
And regardless of all of us complaining about how crappy Raw is.
Yeah.
6-1.
6-1.
But they didn't even count the pre-show.
I know. What is this just they're like, SmackDown 1, we screwed that booking up.
Forget the pre-show. Forget the pre-show. But
Road Dogg, you asshole.
He's just
that's the guy behind the
He's just like a road agent.
He's not.
Road Dogg sucks.
It's Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
No, it's not. I know that anything that Road Dogg's hands are on is the less.
I thought it was
when SmackDown stuff wasn't as good as Raw's.
Yeah.
Road Dogg was in front of charge of SmackDown. That just means
I thought Michael P.S. Hayes is the one in charge of SmackDown, or is he still?
We don't look. Y'all keep wanting to say, "Oh, Road Dogg, Michael P.S. Hayes, Brian Gore's back in the day." All these people, all these random people we're bringing up, man. Vince McMahon is making the final decision. So you put the blame on Vincent Kennedy McMahon. This is like football. The head coach is making the decision. The quarterback's making the decision. You put the blame on them, Ron Rivera. Okay, so at the at the end of the day, you got to put the blame on Vincent Kennedy McMahon for putting out a crappy project in the WWE right after things were so damn good. Things are so damn good with Survivor Series and them having to finagle everything up. And now it's just went right downhill to wrestling's dead period again.
I think they had plans to make SmackDown win Survivor Series, but then, of course, a lot of last-minute changes happen. And so they said, you know what, screw it. We're just going to screw over SmackDown and let's have Raw win.
I'm tired of SmackDown getting screwed over, bro. I am tired of it.
They've been getting screwed over for 20 years.
They've been getting screwed over since I've been watching, man. They've been getting screwed.
Hey, first show I ever saw, though, was SmackDown. I didn't know Raw existed for 2 months.
I didn't know. I never could watch Raw because I didn't have cable TV back in the day. So SmackDown was my show.
Well, ever since Raw, when Raw is one of the shows was closed, a guy like Undertaker or Rock would say, all right, I'll see you at SmackDown UPN. And I say, oh, sweet, UPN, I get to tune into that. And then thanks to that would help me watch SmackDown.
UPN.
Shout out to UPN.
UPN.
I'll see you UPN SmackDown.
Oh, that's the good old days.
Yeah.
CW and all that stuff.
Oh, my goodness.
Sci-fi.
I was watching that on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Woo. After they left Sci-Fi, it was kind of it's been average.
Well, they didn't care on Sci-Fi.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
they put that ECW product on Sci-Fi too. Okay,
Shouts to Kelly.
Yeah, I almost just started singing their song, but I remembered I couldn't sing. Yeah. So other things that happened at this pay-per-view, real quick, because we do need to move on.
Yeah.
We had Drake Maverick pee in his pants.
By the Big Show.
And he peed yesterday on Bobby Roode's robe.
Exactly. Buddy Murphy and Mustafa Ali put on a pretty solid match.
They finally put them on the main card.
Yes.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, I think they need to put them on every pay-per-view. At least
Main
the
card.
championship match or the best match, because it just
was
it just
entertaining.
needs to happen. And then so you had, of course, the Raw women won. Nia Jax getting a lot of heat, and she getting the final cover. Seth Rollins defeating Nakamura just clean. Team Raw, like I said, won, and then of course you had Rousey and Lesnar win, one by disqualification and one legitimate. So Survivor Series. Just last thoughts, real quick on Survivor Series, and I was entertained. I was not disappointed with the pay-per-view at all. And it's hard to be disappointed with a pay-per-view that's booked so last minute too. Yeah.
That's a great point.
But I thought that the two matches, the two 5-on-5 Survivor Series matches were solid. I was not disappointed, and we were cheering for SmackDown, and a lot of other people were cheering for SmackDown.
The whole crowd was.
And the Nia Jax heat was a big thing. Rollins and Nakamura, slow build but a solid match. And then you had Rousey and the Rousey Charlotte Flair match with Brock Lesnar. Daniel Bryan did not disappoint. And then there was one other incident, and now we're gonna turn it to the RKJ man.
And you got it on video, right?
Because during
Did I get it on video?
You
I
did
think
not.
you
You
did.
missed it. But during the ALP The Bar match, there was a lot of people not paying attention, and this is now the topic of Ryan Rant.
How you doing? So, on that wonderful night when we went to Survivor Series, ring generals were cheering, we were turning up. We got a disturbance in the crowd in the front row. We got a man who looked like my dog showing up, okay?
Shout out to Leo.
Shout out to Leo.
Comparing him to
Shout out to
Leo?
the Boston Terrier Leo.
Wow.
Okay? And all of a sudden, he's shouting, how you doing? And saying soft. And guess what? He got knocked the heck out by security, man. He got knocked the heck out. And it turns out it was Enzo Amore. Enzo Amore, you remember that guy, right? The guy who
Excuse me, his name is Real One now.
Eric Arnett.
Nobody cares about Real One. Nobody cares about
Yo,
Eric
that's some
Arnett.
disrespect
Nobody
right there.
cares about Enzo Amore, okay?
The real
His
one.
name is Enzo
You called it
Amore.
the
Eric
real-
Arnett.
Oh, you called it the real one BS, right? I remember.
The Real One BS, okay?
Yeah.
We're just gonna say he's the Real One BS, okay? He's one of those dudes out there that nobody likes, okay? But he thinks that everybody likes him, and he thinks he has talent, when he clearly, truly doesn't. Because I saw his performance at his show the next day, and number one, it only allegedly had 50 people there.
Wow.
And number two, he was trying to go off the WWE, use his WWE relevance as a way to try to promote his music. Enzo, you said that you were done with the WWE on Stone Cold's podcast, bro. You said you're not going back. You said that part is done and you wanted to focus on your
I did
music,
see
homie.
that, yeah.
Okay, so
Or hear
why
that.
in the world are you hijacking WWE shows? Is it because your music sucks? Yeah, it does. Excuse me, in the words of Stone Cold, oh hell yes, it does. Is it because you haven't been relevant since you left the WWE? Oh hell yeah. Is it because the fact of the matter being that your haircut has been lame like that for years? Oh hell yes. Is it because you can't get a chick ever since you dropped Liv Morgan, allegedly? Oh hell yes, except crappy strippers, allegedly. Okay, so the fact of the matter is this. Enzo Amore, can you please do me a favor and please get the heck out of my television screen? Get the heck out of my social media. Stop vaping on airplanes to get attention. I feel like he's wrestling's version of Tekashi 6ix9ine, man. He's trying to be this guy that he's not. Okay, he's trying to be a FaceTime thug. We got a lot of FaceTime thugs on here who want to be gangster and whatnot, and then when somebody truly comes up to them, they freak out. Or in Enzo's case, they get knocked the heck out. Okay, so the fact of the matter is this: if you're FaceTime thugging, just look at Enzo Amore, okay, and realize it, or Tekashi 6ix9ine, and realize it's not gonna work for you. Okay, Enzo hasn't done anything in a while. He's talentless, okay, and he's out of a job. And I'm assuming the man is gonna be broke very soon because his music ain't gonna sell either. You only get 50 people at a show. The promoter ain't bringing you back, homie. In LA. In LA. The promoter sure as hell is not bringing you back. Enzo, I want you to do me a favor, okay? I want you to get a haircut, okay? I want you to take off those tattoos. I want you to get a high quality job, okay? And I want you to get the hell out of my social media feeds for life. I'm the RKJ man, and I'm always shooting my shot for greatness.
Soft.
Okay,
Wow.
stop copying off the WWE, man.
Banned
Wait.
from the Staples Center forever
Right.
too.
I heard he was banned for the next couple of
I
days.
did see that.
No,
So,
I heard he was banned forever.
so do you think he should go back to Hooters since he was
Oh
general
yeah, he
manager?
was at
Yeah.
Hooters.
No, he'll sexually harass all the chicks at Hooters, and it will have a million. Enzo Amore already allegedly has some issues with the law. Okay, so we don't want him going anywhere where he can get tested.
Did you guys
Okay,
see that wig that he had? that black wig on his Instagram account?
how you doing? Okay, just remember somebody. I don't know, man. He needs
a
to
mess.
get. I'm just tired of seeing him. He's wrestling's version of Tekashi 6ix9ine. Nick.
Yeah, did you say Tekashi 6ix9ine?
I did say
Did you say
Tekashi
Tekashi?
He said
6ix9ine.
it multiple times.
Speaking of people with shitty hair and bad attitudes and
shitty face
and
tattoos.
fake fronting in Los Angeles.
FaceTime thugging.
Yeah, FaceTime talking. That's a great term. That's a great term, RKJ, man. It's now time for Nick's random segment of the day, and there's no other person to talk about than Tekashi 6ix9ine. And Tekashi 6ix9ine, you know, a lot of people talk about how they're hard, and they're not hard. They're not. They're ready
They're
to do
gangsta.
time.
We gonna test your thug.
It's okay to do time. Well, according to Vulture magazine, Tekashi 6ix9ine has been arrested for racketeering, other stuff, and he's also been in trouble with other stuff in the law.
Oh, crap.
He's facing life in prison without bail.
Whoa.
So here's what I wanted to say, Nick. Okay. I hate people who run around and try to align with the Crips or the Bloods and they're fake. You know, I hate that, man. I hate people who do that because you put yourself in legitimate danger. Cardi B had that happen to her, Nick.
Yeah. Totally. And the thing with Tekashi 6ix9ine is he was warned by a lot of people that if
Fat
he keeps
Joe.
doing this, that Matt Barnes, the former basketball player, really called him out and said you can't keep fake thugging on this. You're gonna end up like X, right? Because that's why Triple X ended up getting killed because of this same bullshit. Because these guys are young. I don't know how old Tekashi 6ix9ine is, but they're around my age. Right now, I'm a young guy.
They're doing their
and
best
they're
to
just
get their
talking
name
all
out,
this
man.
shit like they've been doing all this stuff, and it's just not true.
Yeah.
And now I'm glad this guy who has been charged or actually been he did molest somebody when he was younger too.
It's confirmed?
It's a confirmed
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, he actually got in trouble for that back in the day. So the guy is he's a POS. Right, and now it's his comeuppance. I hope that people like Nicki Minaj next time watch who they're doing music with, because she has a very popular song out with him, and she knew what he had done in the past and all this
But
stuff.
Nikki
and
doesn't care. Nikki's just trying to get her thing out there.
I got you, but it doesn't look good if Nicki's gonna try to talk shit and you'd be like, well, you did music with a child molester. So who's I'm saying it just
Everybody in rap sometimes most people in rap has a sketchy past. Has somebody who they've
Child molester,
worked
though?
with is sketchy.
I don't care about the gang and stuff. You can stab somebody like Jay-Z. You stab somebody like Ray Lewis, right? You
Ray
could
Lewis
do all
stabbed
the,
somebody,
you could
I thought
shoot people like 50 Cent. You could throw glasses in the club like Chris Brown and Drake. I don't care about that stuff. That's part of the game. I get it.
what
These
about
guys
Chris
are
Brown
rough.
beating up Rihanna?
I've said if I saw Chris Brown in public, I'd probably knock him the hell out. But he's probably got to get enough security. I can get
Nick's
killed
face-
on the spot. You want to
Nick's
see a
face-
killing a
Yeah.
live
Killing on live
person?
television.
Kill it on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. But so Tekashi 6ix9ine potentially going to prison for life.
For
life.
Put the little thing up.
Hey man, I
Yeah.
got a story for y'all, man, because we talk a lot about like don't be something you're not and like stop FaceTime thugging.
Yes.
I remember a long time ago I was catching the bus from work. Back before I had a car.
I
was
love these
catching,
stories,
I was
too.
catching the bus from work and I was here in California and I had my all red Lakers hat on. And I love the Lakers, okay? All right. So I'm walking past a dude at the bus stop and the dude's like, he says to me straight up, "What's up, blood?" And I'm like,
Whoa.
and like I didn't hear it fully. Like it didn't register in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Because we've talked about this. Me and my family talked about this. Being aware of your surroundings, right, and being aware who you're interacting with in public. You got to be careful of that. You know. So a guy, he turns around, he says, "Hey, what's up, blood?" And I nodded him because I didn't really understand it. I didn't hear it, and I wasn't really paying attention. I thought he said, "What's up, brother?" or something like that, or something like that, fam, whatever.
Okay.
You know, I could, So the guy, so then I started thinking, oh shoot, this guy thinks I'm a blood.
Wearing the hat. Yeah.
he freaking turns around, starts to try to come over to me. I was like, oh shit, I better tell him right now I'm not a blood right now, or else I'm gonna get shot. So like the guy, so I was like, he was like, hey, what's up, blood? I was like, bro, I'm not a blood. He was like, but you're wearing the red hat, man. I was like, nah, man, that doesn't mean I'm a blood, man. Whatnot,
Yeah.
dude. We got on the same bus. I got as far away from that dude as possible, and luckily the guy didn't stop at the same bus stop at me, because that would have been a killing on live television.
I got hit up by this one dude who actually said that. Like, yo, you from SJC, San Capistrano? And I said, yeah, damn right. And then because I know his brother, and I'm actually like really good friends with his brother. And I said, then what are you going to do, man? What are you really going to do? Because to be honest, he wasn't going to do anything about it, because so much respect for his brother, he wouldn't like attack me. And I said, yeah, I'm from SJC, but I don't know any of the guys that I affiliate myself with. So what are you going to do? And he just walked away.
Yeah, no, I remember when I took you to one of my brother's football games in Gardena, California.
Oh,
which is it's like the furthest end of South Central LA you could get. It's probably the cleanest and nicest part of South Central LA.
You mean a place like where RK-J-Man and me would hang out, right?
Well, I know one thing. There's a Church's Chicken over there. So
well, no, yeah.
Anytime I see Church's Chicken, I know we're in the hood, but I know there's some Church's Chicken. I know what Church's Chicken is.
I remember I had my old beat up Acura TL back then, 1999. Shout out to that car. It's gone now, but nonetheless.
R.I.P.
Yeah, rest in peace to that car. I remember I took him to the game, and I remember I didn't worry about parking the car because I'm like, no one's going to steal my car because because it was a shitty area. I mean, you can agree to it too. It was a very bad area. Us white folk don't go into those areas that often. But for football, anything can happen.
Yeah.
But I remember something that I'll never forget. Is that nobody was wearing any colors. It was all neutral gray, black, white.
Yeah.
And then you'd see people come visit Gardena Sarah's team is blue and red. The school is blue and red,
Yeah.
so you could probably wear blue or red to the game. It makes sense. And my brother's high school team is also blue.
That's when you know.
So I was wearing blue, but I was wearing a sweatshirt over just because I was cold.
That's when you know the place is like known to get shot up.
Yeah, and then you see people take their stuff off the minute they got into the game, and it was like they don't want to show in their car or anything like that they're affiliated with the Bloods or the Crips, because that shit can get you killed. And this is what this guy did. Now he didn't get killed because he's hiring. I was reading something saying he's hiring like thousands of dollars worth of security.
$500,000 worth of security, which Charlemagne the God warned him about. He said, you're going to have to spend all this money on legal fees. You're going to have to spend all this money in, people wonder, are you going to have to spend all this money in security, man? Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, it's really stupid. It's a real stupid way to live your life. And this guy's probably going to get in trouble for it now. It's about time, because these kind of idiots in rap don't need to be there, and they're ruining the game for everybody else, too.
Yeah.
So
I'm kind of surprised there are people out there who actually like this guy. Like his
I don't
music.
understand it either. I mean, his one song is good, but it's not like anything like that.
I mean, you have a lot of people out there. Our generation sucks.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna be honest with you. Our generation sucks, and you have a lot of people out there who want to be gangster and whatnot. I think the game said it perfectly. I need to find his Instagram post he posted. He was like, stop being loyal and stop being something you're not for fickle fans. Focus on your family, your music, and your money. Okay, that's just kind of like semi-quoting him, man.
Yeah.
Oh, and shout out to the person who mentioned FaceTime thugging on Instagram or YouTube. One of those places. I saw that somewhere.
Yeah, very good. Very good term. But so a couple idiots we want to talk about there. But now we're gonna move back into the fight world. We're gonna take a little bit break from wrestling until Eric's segment, and we wanted to talk about a fight just real quick that happened over the last weekend. Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz.
Again.
Number
3.
Killing on live television.
The last two fights were way back in the day, back when these two guys were in their prime.
Yeah.
I believe Tito lost both fights, if I'm not mistaken. So to get revenge on Chuck Liddell, he had him come out of retirement as a 50-year-old, and Tito Ortiz absolutely starts Chuck Liddell, who should have never been let in that ring in the first place. And Tito Ortiz gets his redemption. I'm putting in air quotes, his redemption on Chuck Liddell. What did you guys think about this fight and this whole spectacle they put on?
I'm sorry to say, but it felt like the fight was really slow.
Why are we letting elderly people in the ring? That's what
Because the California State Athletics Commission sucks.
See, this is the problem. You should not be above 45 years old.
And they put CM Punk
in the state of California, in MMA or boxing, in a legitimate fighting sport. you should not be doing it.
They let Conor McGregor fight. I mean,
How old
no,
is-
sorry. Mayweather. He was like 40 years old.
Yeah, he's 41.
No, Mayweather
42.
wins. That's the difference. Mayweather still, the way he fights, he's in such good shape that he because he doesn't get hit, so he can fight till he's probably 55 if he wants to and can still win, right? Chuck Liddell is 48. Excuse me, I said 50 because that's what he looked like, a 70-year-old in the ring.
He's actually 50?
He's 48.
Oh, 40.
Yeah, he's 48.
Oh, close to 50 then.
But out of the game for 8 years. And he wasn't necessarily that good when he was in the game 8 years ago either.
Well, he was
at the
kind
end
of one
his
of the
career.
people who put UFC on the map.
No,
though.
true, but that
He
did
was.
help.
yeah, that's
did
very
help.
yeah, exactly.
He
That's very true.
contributed, yeah.
But Ric Flair ain't wrestling for the WWE anymore, and he
Yeah.
put wrestling on the map. And Hulk Hogan ain't wrestling in WWE because he put you know what I'm saying? These guys are older. They have actual brain damage, and they actually hit each other, which unlike it happens in wrestling, so you can be a little older, right? Unless your initials are CB. But nonetheless, Chris Benoit. Did you not get it the first time?
I
Chris
didn't
Benoit.
get that.
Chris Benoit.
I didn't get
I
that.
don't like mentioning the
Just
guy's
say Chris
name.
Benoit,
You know, we
dude.
were just talking shit on like Tekashi 6ix9ine and
Just say the
Enzo
full name.
Amore, and Benoit just did a little bit of a worse thing, right?
Just
No.
say the full name,
Yes.
dude.
Yeah.
Just say Chris.
Okay, Chris. I'll say Chris.
Chris
But,
Benoit.
Yeah, Benoit. Exactly. Stop saying it there.
Dude, there's no shame.
Yes, there is. No, but nonetheless, Chuck Liddell should have never been let in the ring. That's what I thought. Do you guys think that these athletic commissions should allow these fights to happen where it's clearly a money grab for the guys? And you don't. I mean, Chuck Liddell could have got killed.
They could care less about our opinions. All they care about is just the name brands, because let those two names let alone, they all know that it's going to sell. It doesn't matter how old they are. So as long as that those names sell, then that's what matters. And then later on, they'll figure out what they'll do with Liddell and freaking Ortiz. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Eric. There is absolutely no reason to do this unless you are concerned about the brand.
Yeah.
And how much did this fight do? Like, if this fight did well, then it was well worth it. I mean, we're
I'll check it
talking
out
about it right
anytime.
now in the Ring General, so it must have did something.
I mean, as soon as I heard about that fight taking place, I just thought to myself, again?
But anytime I see 3 on something with the fight, it's just like, you can't do something else. You gotta go back to the well 3 times, bro. 3 times.
It's kind of like the same.
twice is acceptable. 3
It's
times is enough.
It's kind of like when Pacquiao went up against Marquez for like 5 times. I think they went in like 5 times, and I said, guys, just give it a rest. And then until freaking Marquez knocked him out, that's when I knew that it's over. Guys, just throw in the towel. But for this one, for Liddell and Ortiz, just throw in the towel, guys. It's over.
Yeah, it's Golden Boy Promotions putting on MMA fight. Golden Boy Promotions is a boxing thing. It's Oscar De La
Well, De
Hoya.
La Hoya, he's now
Oscar.
he's now in the MMA business, from what he said.
Well, this is a pretty shitty way to join the MMA business because
Yeah.
Tito Ortiz Tito Ortiz actually has fought recently and he starts Chael Sonnen and all these other people. So Tito Ortiz could actually still fight, although he did say he was retired after
He's
this
like
fight.
what, 40? Like 41?
He's around. He's in his 40s for sure. But I can't find a number of what the pay-per-view buys were. But this fight was so big that in the Forum in Los Angeles, the Great
Yeah.
Western Forum,
Yeah.
they'll hold 17,000 people. They got a whopping 7,000 people in there to watch this
what
fight.
was-
So, you know what I'm saying?
What's the whole point of
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
this fight, man?
I had a friend there.
Did
who I
you?
attended.
How
My
much-
friend. Yeah.
You
How
probably
much did you
getting
pay
it
for the
cheap.
fight?
I don't know. He actually got a pretty good seat,
That's probably because it cost $5. Probably close.
Yeah.
Probably. I'll have to get in
You get a
contact
McDonald's cheeseburger more expensive than that fight. You get
Yeah.
A McFlurry.
Is it Big Mac meal or is it Tito Ortiz Chuck Liddell 3? Yeah,
I'm going for the Big Mac, bro.
with him. Rather go to Popeyes.
exactly. But
What's the
so
hamburger? The chicken McNugget.
this was kind of a joke. I'm disappointed in the California State Athletic Commission that they'd ever let a fight like this happen. Why Chuck Liddell was cleared to fight. I mean, I remember there was a lot of guys on Twitter saying before the fight, you'd see Chuck Liddell doing his shadow boxing before he's doing it and people taking pictures and just acting like a robot. And they said Chael Sonnen. I remember. I keep mentioning the guy's name because he says a lot of funny stuff.
Yeah.
Chael Sonnen said, I've never seen somebody lose a shadow boxing match until I saw Chuck Liddell do it before the fight. So he lost to Air before the fight. I don't even know how he lasted 4 minutes in this fight. The fight ended in,
Chael
424.
Chael Sonnen says a lot of shit, but at the end of the day, he's actually right on this one.
No, he is. It just sucks. And I hope we don't see other like guys in the future fighting these fights. It's just a money grab. The Bellator Heavyweight Grand Prix is different. Okay, that is legitimate heavyweight fighters. They're a little past their prime, but they're not bad, and they just don't. They can't get booked on the UFC cards anymore. And I believe the fight is Ryan Bader versus Fedor Emelianenko, the heavyweight Bellator Grand Prix fight. And those are two legitimate badass guys.
Yeah.
Not in their primes, but it's still a great fight.
Who were once pretty well known in the UFC. If anything, Bellator is like most known for like the UFC rejects, if anything.
No, and that's what this is in a way, but it's different.
I understand.
It's different because they're actually, besides putting like Kimbo Slice and all these people in there, and rest in peace,
Kimbo Slice.
Absolutely,
Rest in peace.
Yeah, but it's just this Liddell Ortiz thing is a little too far because these guys are. I mean, they were fighting in like before 2010. They weren't even fighting in this decade.
They're not really relevant.
Yeah, so they're old. It's not so
they were fighting before Twitter. When you're fighting before Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, when you're fighting before MySpace, you shouldn't be allowed in a ring in 2018.
I fully agree.
Yeah,
I fully agree.
Oh,
but yeah, so hopefully we don't have any of this more. But I'm excited a little bit for that Bellator and that next Bellator. That's a good fight. Now I remember even guys like Joe Rogan and them were talking about that fight coming up. That is not what this was. Excited. Yeah, this was a complete money grab. $200,000 for Tito Ortiz. And
how much did Liddell make?
I think they both made the same thing.
Okay,
that's what happens when De La Hoya promotes it.
Yeah.
I mean, they both came out with $250,000. So I mean,
well, but then Chuck Liddell's gonna have to spend that $250,000 on medical fees after getting knocked out.
That's true.
Excuse me for my life.
And they buried the hatchet, right? They buried
mark the time.
Mark the time.
46 minutes.
Okay, 46. All right, so let's move on. Let's get back to a little bit of wrestling before we go full in on the boxing analysis to end this podcast. Eric, I know you have a good indie segment coming up, so this is Eric's indie update.
All right, here we go then. So, the TNA Home Coming pay-per-view will be held at the Asylum, Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee. That is the same place where the first TNA NWA show was held in 2002. Until 2004, they moved to Orlando. It actually marks the return of the Ultimate X match, so stay tuned for that. Give you some more updates about it, hopefully by December. And Ring of Honor will be having their Final Battle pay-per-view. That is the final pay-per-view of the year before we close out 2018. Bully Ray is scheduled to go up against Flip Gordon in an I Quit match. Cody versus Jay Lethal for the Ring of Honor title. Young Bucks versus Briscoes versus Kazarian and Scorpio Sky in a ladder war, so that should be exciting. All held on December 14th, and more matches will be scheduled, so stay tuned for this one. Also, wanted to, before we get to the dream match of the day, I did want to leave this for the last part of the indie segment. Let's just say this. We know that our good buddy James Ellsworth has been the center of attention as of late.
Jesus.
He opened up his own promotion called ACW. It's called Adrenaline Championship Wrestling. This is scheduled, the event is actually going to be scheduled on December 29th, and now the show is canceled. Want to know why? Because wrestlers do not want to work for this event.
Now, can I ask you a question real quick, Eric?
Yeah.
What would you say the name of that show? What were the initials?
Adrenaline Championship Wrestling, ACW.
ACW. It probably should be renamed.
Don't say it, screwed up, man. Don't say it, man.
It should
Don't
probably
go there.
be changed to
Don't go there, bro.
MCW, right? Right? And why do you guys think it should be renamed MCW? Molester Championship Wrestling.
Yeah.
There you go, baby.
And you want to know the name of the wrestlers who are going to work this event? The Sandman.
Oh, my God.
Jesus.
Oh, man.
Gilbert. Lord God help us.
Joey Ryan.
Oh, my God. These.
Joey Ryan makes sense, at least.
And Sonny. They are refusing to work.
Is Missy Hyatt there, too, by any chance?
Maybe. I don't know. They are refusing to work this event because
they are refusing to work.
Yes, they are
okay.
refusing.
Oh, my God. That's bad when you got Missy.
When you got Sandman.
You got Sandman refuse it and freaking Sonny. Man, we're not perfect in this life. None of us are claimed to be perfect, man. But I don't think any of us has sent nudes to an underage girl.
Yeah.
I can say I have not sent a nude to an underage girl. That is dumb.
Now I got a
okay?
I
question
haven't
for
sent
you
a
guys.
nude period because
I've never sent
my
a
balls
nude.
just don't need to be on camera.
I've never sent a nude period.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not
quick question
doing
for you
that.
guys. If you guys had the opportunity, would you guys work for this event?
Come on, Aaron.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
Even
What
if
question
money
is
was
that?
being
What was
offered
the
to you.
well? Actually,
Even
what was
if
the
money-
money?
You asked this- you
You
asked
give me
me-
$1 million, I'll do
You
the
asked me this question alone for the crown jewel situation, and my answer remains the same. It's not worth my soul, bro, to gain the whole world. This ain't worth my
Your
soul,
soul.
bro. I ain't perfect, man. Not one single one of us is perfect. I just want to reiterate that. I am not perfect. But I'm not gonna go on social media and sort out girls and like send inappropriate photos out to girls.
Yeah.
You know, especially if they're underage. That's not cool. And then his whole excuse was he thought that they were she was 19 years old.
Come on, man.
It's
he
like-
said he asked her what her age was at an event, and she was like 15.
Allegedly. I mean, I just think you got to be careful. We're gonna let the judicial system do its process, but like I said on one of our earliest episodes, okay, in this society with the Me Too movement and feminism running wild and everything like that happening, it's guilty until proven innocent. And the evidence is way too big. The Jay Lethal situation was different because that was a reach. And by the way, I haven't heard anything about that, Eric. Nothing came out about
Nothing
that.
came out.
So, I mean, clearly Jay Lethal was proven right in this situation. But James Ellsworth, man, he's going to have to get some legitimate evidence that proves otherwise. He's being smart by letting his legal team handle it and whatnot, but I just don't think James Ellsworth is going to be credible even if this is cleared up. Nobody's going to want to work with James Ellsworth.
MCW.
R.I.P. to his
Yeah,
wrestling
Takashi
his career.
6ix9ine.
Let's move on to the three match of the day.
Enzo Amore. Hey, Enzo Amore guaranteed books on that pay-per-view.
Not sure if the
And Big Cass's
not
just Big Cass's nipples, not even him.
we're not even. They're not.
So
and we were gonna try to make this podcast a little bit more friendly.
no, we can talk about nipples.
You know what?
Yeah, we're
the ring generals, man.
come on, We got
Be ourselves.
So here's who's booking that. Just
Okay.
real quick, because I know you got the dream match.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna have. I got my dream match ready after that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a good one now.
I don't have a dream match.
But
man.
you got on that card, you're gonna have Enzo Amore fighting Takashi 6ix9ine, beta male bitch match. And then you're gonna have Big Cass's nipples versus the actual Snapchat that James Ellsworth
Is Carmella gonna work that event?
sent.
Carmella can be the
Carmella's
special
gonna-
guest referee for that
Special
match.
guest referee via satellite. That's what you're gonna show up to do.
And you can show it in Saudi Arabia with everybody going crazy. All the men going crazy when they're not supposed to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So big main event, and then you got Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz 4.
Gonna be bigger than Triple Mania.
Rip on YouTube. Rip on YouTube, man.
Rip up.
Oh my God, man.
You have CM Punk in an MMA match of that card too.
Oh my goodness
shit show.
gracious.
All right, so dream match of the day. I was doing a lot of thinking for this match since Bray Wyatt has returned over at this. What is it? It was like a house show Starrcade that
heard
happened
that,
in W Network. Yeah, so Bray Wyatt is back, and I thought about looking at how his promos were done and also his unorthodox wrestling style. And the way how he does his poses, and also the way how he does his promos, I can tell that he kind of emulated some of this when he raised like his arms like this. I can only think of another guy who does the same pose a little bit like this guy, and he would always close like his fists. I'm talking about one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, and also a guy who was very manipulative back in ECW. Former NWA champion, former hardcore champion, former ECW champion. He is the Kurt Cobain of wrestling, Raven.
Shout outs to Raven, man.
It's a good match. You got a match?
Both manipulative. Yeah.
New Jack.
Come on.
Oh
man.
boy.
New Jack working that show for sure.
Yeah. New Jack ain't working no shows now.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to work with New Jack.
Ellsworth. I'd rather have a guy that burst his brains into his own head and did like intravenous drugs daily,
Coke.
and have him team up with Sandman, who did
Allegedly.
coke every day during every show, than have James Ellsworth on my show. I'm just saying.
New Jack, man. New Jack, if you have not listened to a wrestling shoot with New Jack, you have not lived life. Because New Jack will reveal some things to you that, one time New Jack said like he was coming down the ring and like he freaking bust the inside of his nut. Like, it went right through him. It went right through him.
Wait, why, man?
It went right through him.
Can you explain exactly how that happened,
He
though?
said he was coming down a rail in the old ECW arena or somewhere, and like he came
just
down.
coked out of
and,
his mind.
Yeah, I think he said that too. And he was coming down, and they were like getting down the ring. They were getting down, and like he was running down, and there was like this sharp edgy point, and he felt like some breeze or something, and he started noticing blood in the ring. And he was like, "You Jack, you're bleeding." He's like, "Why?" He's like, "I'm bleeding from my nut." And he was like, if that thing would have went 1 inch closer, because it got meat. He's like, well, 1 inch closer, it would have like done some serious.
I don't want to feel that.
Oh man, no,
That's a guy's worst nightmare, man. Getting their balls cut off.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But who do you want? New Jack to face?
Especially by a rusty ECW like Edge.
Hey man, give me New Jack versus that rail that almost killed his nuts. Like, give me New Jack. That's the dream match of the day for the RKJ.
I thought you wanted New Jack versus Velveteen Dream.
Yeah, yeah, that too. But first off, he's got to settle the grudge match with the thing that almost ripped his balls apart.
New Jack versus Velveteen Dream. That's terrible.
That wouldn't be.
That would not. No,
that's not a match of styles.
Stab him in the head like that. What was it?
Although Velveteen Dream is pretty crazy enough to go up against like.
Who was the guy that that ended up dying like a couple years later or something like that? The guy that like someone stabbed the guy. It was New Jack, I think, and the guy like bled out like almost all of his blood in the ring. What was the guy's name?
What the hell?
You never heard this story before?
I've never heard this story, but I don't want to allege anything that's not true.
His name was like the Express or something.
I don't want to say anything that's not true.
No, this guy's dead for sure now, so we can't. He's not gonna get us or anything.
I got a good dream match: KFC or Popeyes.
Oh,
KFC versus Popeyes.
Yeah.
Oh, now we're getting off topic
That's
here,
true.
but I'm gonna be honest with you. I tried that KFC chicken and waffles today.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's good stuff.
It was good stuff. Man.
Making me hungry, dude.
I'm hungry too.
I'm trying to look this up, but
We're trying to look this up. Nick, we're gonna have to hurry up. We got to go to your segment, bro. You're gonna have to go to your part. Like, what's your dream match?
oh, my dream. Okay, my dream match. I'm gonna bring it back to reality a little bit here.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna go boxing because we're gonna transition to a boxing match. My boxing dream match, to be real quick, it's just a toss over pretty much. Anthony Joshua versus the winner of Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, because Anthony Joshua has been ducking some people, and now we're gonna go into.
Are we talking about beta males?
Well,
Beta males?
Anthony Joshua literally just wants to make money. He's not even trying for the legacy. But two guys that are fighting for the legacy and putting it all on the line, December 1st, this Saturday, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. And one of the biggest
The Fury of
heavyweight,
LA.
the biggest heavyweight fight since Klitschko and Fury, which was 3 years ago. Anthony Joshua, though, real quick, just to start on that, talk a little shit on him. Joshua's,
Of course.
He's supposed to be fighting Deontay Wilder here. He's ducking Deontay Wilder because Deontay Wilder has one of the best right hands in the business and can knock anybody out. If you want to hear Deontay Wilder's record, he's 40-0 with 39 knockouts. Only one fight he hasn't knocked a guy out. So I'd be scared too. But Joshua, an Englishman from, from England.
Great Britain.
But yeah, exactly. He is ducking Deontay Wilder, which is why this Tyson Fury fight is coming out. This is essentially the Tyson Fury comeback. He's only fought 2 just normal fights since returning to the ring after a drug binge, 3 years of almost committing suicide and mental health problems. Fury wants to go at it with the best, and Deontay Wilder right now is the best guy to fight because Joshua is ducking everybody. So my dream match is for the winner of this fight to fight him, which would be probably the best boxing match.
Thing.
Probably the best boxing match you can come up with.
Right, yeah.
But let's go over this fight. Tyson Fury never lost his title, a lot like Finn Balor. Never lost his title, but just left the sport. He had mental health issues.
Man, that seems to be the thing of today now.
Oh,
Everybody's got mental health
he almost
issues.
committed suicide. Was partying his ass off because he didn't feel like he meant anything decidedly. Even though he had beat Vladimir Klitschko, Vladimir Klitschko was by far the best heavyweight fighter, and Tyson Fury found a way to beat him. And he said that after that fight, his whole purpose was to beat Vladimir Klitschko.
Yeah.
So he didn't have purpose. He's now out of that mindset, and he's trying to more raise
Yeah.
awareness, and that's one of the reasons he's coming back with this fight.
Let's
so
also
great
give
thing.
him credit, okay? Born again Christian too.
Absolutely.
Man of God now.
Go look up his interview with Joe Rogan. That's what really got me into this fight because he really explains what happened to him and what he's doing.
Yeah.
But he's also trying to knock Deontay Wilder the hell out in this fight. Let's not get this wrong. This isn't just some charity case going out there trying to fight. Tyson
This is for the
Fury
title.
has still never lost. He's 27-0 as well.
Yeah.
But he's only fought, 0 big fights in 3 years. So this is a very interesting fight. Just to give you a little, promotion for this fight. Fury. The good thing about Fury is if you never heard of him, you never follow this stuff. Very good footwork. Footwork like a guy that's 5'10". He's 6'8", 265 pounds. He's a bigger Brock Lesnar.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
A lot bigger than him.
But he has feet like Floyd Mayweather. And heavyweights don't see that ever. So he can duck punches from guys like Deontay Wilder, who kind of go crazy and go after these big right hands.
Very rare.
Yeah.
Very rare. that you would
Extremely
see that.
rare. And that's the reason he's the heavyweight champion still. He never lost it, essentially. So great movement for his size. He also a defensive fighter. That's one of the ways he beat Klitschko. A lot like Floyd Mayweather. I'm going to keep comparing him to them because that's the best example. Was Mayweather's the best defensive fighter in the world ever. So you have that with Fury. Then you have the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder.
What a weird name.
Well, yeah, and Tyson Fury said it. We were watching the video before this podcast where Fury has a point. He goes, "Do you just look at your nickname, right? You look at your nickname and you're a third place guy." Well, he said, "Well, I'm going to take your gold and I'll give you a bronze title instead." He kind of has a point. I think it has to do with Deontay Wilder winning a bronze medal at one of the Olympics in the last couple of years,
Yeah.
so that's what it has to do with. But not necessarily the moniker you want. You don't want to
That's
be
not something
you
I
don't want to
wanna
be
go
the
around.
silver bullet. You don't want to be the bronze bomber. I want to be the gold standard, Shelton Benjamin style. You know what I'm saying? So
Ain't no stopping me.
Yeah.
No.
where'd Shelton Benjamin go, by the way? Real quick, where'd he go?
He went to mid-card hell.
Yeah.
Better question
I think it was
is,
the low
what happened
card
to
now.
Jason Jordan?
Well, Jason Jordan had an injury.
Jason Jordan's career might be over, just like Alexis Bliss's. But getting back to
That's so sad.
Boxing.
She's so hot. Yeah, so back to boxing, which is what
Depress
we're
me for a
talking
little
about. Deontay Wilder, like I said, 40 wins, 39 knockouts.
is
That's
impressive.
his thing.
That's a monster
Right,
right there, man.
it's the Bret Hart of boxing, right? Bret Hart was so good at submissions. He wasn't finishing guys with a finishing move. He was finishing guys in the middle of the ring with a sharpshooter. That's Wilder's thing. Wilder's thing is his knockout, and he's 6'7". He ain't no slouch either. A little under two. He's under 265. Well, Fury's going to be the bigger fighter coming to this fight. The one thing that Fury has on Wilder is that Wilder has never had the type of opponent like Vladimir Klitschko. He's never had that giant, crazy good
Monster
opponent. He doesn't have that Canelo Alvarez to Triple G. He doesn't have that Canelo Alvarez to Floyd Mayweather or that Manny Pacquiao, right?
Yeah.
His biggest win is against an aging Luis Ortiz. That was his last fight in March. So he has never won a fight against a guy like Tyson Fury. The only question is, what is Tyson Fury coming in with after being on a drug binge for 3 years, being extremely overweight, got to 400 pounds at one point, Big Show style, and is now back to 265. But still has knockout power
Big
like
drastic change right there, man.
Still has knockout power like
Jurassic Park
nobody
change.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Still has knockout power like nobody else, though, that anybody's ever seen in boxing, period. But there's the advantage Fury has, is that he's fought in these major fights and he's won before. Now, the difference is that one was on European soil. This one is in Los Angeles at the Staples Center we were just at the other day. So this is an advantage for Wilder, who's fighting on U.S. soil, whereas Fury has to come through all these customs and all this stuff and do all that. Shouldn't be that big of a deal, but nonetheless, somewhat of an advantage. And Wilder has also been fighting more consistently. Pretty much just been defending his title every couple months, whereas Fury, like I said, came out with 2 warm-up fights and really hasn't had a big fight in any case since 2015.
This fight kind of reminds me a little bit of how Brock Lesnar came back from diverticulitis and then came back to fight Shane Carwin. And Brock Lesnar, he was off from the UFC for almost a year, and Carwin kept fighting throughout the entire time, and he just kept waiting for Brock Lesnar to answer the call. So this Deontay Wilder and Fury fight, there's some similarities to it. Oh man, this is going to be hard to choose. What do you think?
I think at the end of the day, experience matters. And while I respect Deontay Wilder for his ability to knock people out, he's 40-0, 39 knockouts. You can't say anything. You can't teach experience. That's just something you know and learn. And that whole part about how Fury's had that monster opponent, it plays big into my mind. I like to go with experience. A lot of the times when it comes to a sporting event, who do people pick? Do they pick the young team or the experienced team in the playoffs? Well, they're going to go with the team that's been there before because they will have the tricks up their sleeves. I think Fury has more to prove than Wilder. I think Fury has more passion than Wilder. I just think Fury needs to stay with it throughout the entire matchup. He cannot let Wilder get those knockout punches and start punching him down like Canelo Alvarez did to Triple G in that first fight. Because if it happens, then Fury's going to be in trouble. He's going to be in trouble. He's not going to survive. But if Fury can just hang on in there until the later rounds, tire Deontay Wilder out, that's something. Maybe Fury learned some things because obviously he had to learn some tricks up his sleeve to get down to an acceptable weight. He was 400 pounds. So people like that, usually when you're losing weight like that, you learn things about your body that you would have never known had you not been, a Jurassic Park size. So, at the end of the day, I think you got to go Fury to make sure Fury because of the advantage of the experience. That's what I'm going with right now.
Yeah, and the one thing about Wilder, too, here's another mark on Fury's case for this fight. Wilder hasn't been knocked down that often. It also hasn't gone the distance a lot. I'm looking at a lot of his fights. First round, second round, fourth round. Now, lately, since he's been the heavyweight champion, 9th round, 11th round, 9 round, 8 round, what I'm saying, 5-1.
That's because your opponents get tougher.
Well, exactly. And they've said he's had an ability, to give another nod on Wilder's case, he's had the ability to get knocked down in the Luis Ortiz fight. His last fight, he got knocked down and got back up and then ended up knocking him out in the 10th round. But there was a time in that fight where people were like, oh my goodness, this old Luis Ortiz actually finally did it to Wilder. Wilder came up and was able to knock him out. So that's the thing. If Fury can get this fight all the way and tire out, if Wilder's just throwing these bombs and getting tired, and Fury can finally get, maybe in the later rounds, get a couple punches on him, maybe knock him out, that's another case in Fury's thing, is that Fury has almost gone the length in most of his fights.
Yeah.
And had a couple knockouts in more of his younger years, but more recently has found a way to stick to it and become a better fighter throughout a fight rather than just going for these bombs. It's a match of two different styles. You've seen this in UFC before, where you have a big knockout guy, for example, like Derek Lewis and Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier was able to beat him because Derek Lewis is going for those bombs the whole time. But if you have one skill that's better than the other, you can beat him with that one skill.
And when you constantly go, I'm sorry, go ahead, Eric.
No, I was going to say just Lewis is he's just a brawler. That's what he is. And Cormier is more of the experienced guy because he gets, grappling, wrestling, and also brawling. So he's got like best of 3, if anything.
Yeah, no, but to that case, it's the fact that Wilder is a knockout artist and Fury is not, and that's why this fight can work. Because my prediction's kind of been, before I make a full prediction, is Fury can win if he can get it all the way to the 12th round, or Wilder's going to knock him out. It's probably not going to be Fury knocking him out in this fight because of the way Fury's fought the Klitschko fight. He kind of stood around, did the Floyd Mayweather thing, and was able to win it via a decision.
I think at the end of the day, when you're going for all those knockout punches, you leave a lot of room for yourself to get knocked out yourself.
Oh yeah.
All you gotta do when you're that opponent on the receiving end of those knockout punches is just wait for your perfect opportunity. All you gotta do is hang up in there, keep your gloves up close to your face, okay? Don't let him see an opening, okay?
Don't get hit.
Don't get hit.
Yeah.
All right, and when that moment comes towards the end of the round, when they're starting to get tired and wearing out, and their vision's getting obscured, you start hitting them, you start punching them. We've seen it a lot, in the days, So I think Fury's got to stay with that as his game. He's got to use his intelligence. He's got to use his veteran expertise over Wilder. Wilder's the cocky young lion, all right, or the cocky young cub, okay. Fury's this lion, okay, So you've got to make sure at the end of the day that you outthink him, not outwork him.
Absolutely. Predictions for this fight, guys.
You know what? This is going to be a little bit hard for me, but I'm going to have to go with Fury. I think he might win this one. Worst case scenario, it might go with 12 rounds, unanimous decision. And I'm going to go with a knockout around maybe the 10th or 9th round.
Okay, so
You're
you're
saying
going
Fury is winning this.
You're going with my scenario of that he gets him tired throwing punches,
Yes.
and then he's able to find the. That's a fair prediction.
It's
I
going
like
to
that.
give an opening and then boom. Yeah.
I'm going with Fury winning at the very end in a knockout. I'm just going to throw it out there.
So I'm going to disagree. I think Wilder knocks him out in the 5th round.
Jeez.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think I just think with me, you talked about experience.
You want to put money on this one?
But that I probably will. I probably will. But the thing about Fury is he's just been out of the game for too long. I think there was a rumor that came out, or not even a rumor. It said that he was supposed to have about 5 fights to get back into to have a chance at a guy like Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, and he just after 2 he said, "I think I'm ready." I don't think he's ready. I think he's gone through too much in his body to face a guy like this, Deontay Wilder, who's a true champion. I'm looking has retained this championship over 10 times. Okay, I know Fury did that back in the day, but that was back in the day.
Yeah.
So I think the fight is very, very interesting until about the 4th or 5th round. And then Wilder's able to get him with 1 punch and maybe 2, and I think he knocks him out midway through the fight.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Absolutely. Oh, by the way, I figured out before we end the podcast, I figured out it was the mass transit incident. New Jack.
What?
Here, I'll read a little bit about it for some. So it was a guy. The guy's name was Mass Transit. Big fat dude was in the ring, and he got just bladed too deeply by New Jack, and he ended up being underage because Paul Heyman just never checked anything.
Yeah. That's not on New Jack, though.
Well, of course, nobody checks anything
No,
in ECW.
exactly, and so it was an incident where New Jack went a little too far with the blading like he had in the past.
Of course.
And ended up.
Well, we don't know what he did in
This
the past
guy,
of the
this
blade.
guy cut
Put
like
blade
an
on himself.
artery or something like that. I'm trying to read exactly what happened.
Read it.
This guy's crazy.
Yeah,
Man.
no. So before the match, the guy asked New Jack to blade him since he had never done it himself, and New Jack agreed, which would have been your first. That should have been your first thing.
That should have been your first sign.
During the match, Dudley and New Jack brawled outside the ring, while the others fought inside the ring. The match was booked as a squash. The Gangstas, as they used to call themselves.
Yeah, the Gangstas.
They double teamed this mass transit guy inside the ring. New Jack beat the hell out of him, and at the end of the match, New Jack bladed this dude with a surgical scalpel.
Good God.
As the two had agreed, but cut too deeply and severed 2 arteries in this guy's forehead.
Oh my God.
This dude passed out.
This
His
guy's crazy, man.
blood poured from his head. So
It's the Captain Crunch massacre.
unfortunately, this dude died in 2002. So there was, my dream match can't happen, but it would have been Mass Transit versus New Jack rematch.
Good God.
Rematch. Brought back from the dead.
Yeah, exactly. So, any last thoughts on anything we didn't talk about on this podcast yet, or?
I think it's settled. Yeah.
I think it's settled. I'm excited.
Let's all do our social medias, bro.
Oh, absolutely,
plug it in.
absolutely. So my social media is at Nick Nenad, lowercase on everything but Snapchat. On Snapchat, like I usually say every week, it's at Nick_Nenad. Check out the Cover 2 podcast, 9 a.m. on OC Rock Radio. And I'm sure the RKJ man will be on there soon.
Yeah, in a couple of weeks, I gotta confront Jarrett. He's been talking.
Absolutely.
A lot of
Absolutely.
trash.
I'm sure we'll have Jared on this show one of these days.
Yeah, we will.
To confront and get a little redemption on the RKJ.
For what?
man.
He doesn't watch wrestling, bro.
But he doesn't have to watch wrestling to talk shit on you, though. So that's, But so my social media, at Nick Nenad, all that stuff. Yeah, that's it.
For me, it's at RKJman on Instagram, at RKJman at the RKJman on Twitter, Ryan Johnson on Facebook, the RKJman also on Facebook. Just keep up, follow my dreams, y'all. I'm not going to give you my Snapchat because I've learned Snapchat's very sketchy.
Very true. _Santos_9 on Instagram. Also check out OC Rock Radio, Slam Saturday, as I will be also talking more about Anthony Wilder and also Fury this Saturday, since it will be on at that event. Also, the Video Game Cafe 1 on Twitch and also YouTube. I'm streaming more on YouTube. I've been streaming 2K19, W2K19
Oh, there you go.
lately.
That's cool.
So
Hey, Eric, can you make characters of us and have them fight each other?
I mean, if you
You
guys want
have
to join
to,
in,
bro.
yeah,
You
of course.
gotta-
Why
you
not?
gotta-
I did give you guys a shout out.
Okay.
But you
in
got
one
to
of the
make
episodes.
characters of us.
I will.
You gotta tell me next time you're live streaming with 2K19.
Yeah.
I want to see that. Shit.
'Cause I need to see it.
I need to check out. I need to tweak the audio for a little bit because the fans are actually overpowering my voice. So
The fans.
You gotta
Yeah.
get the fans out of the way, bro.
yeah, the fans. I need to lower their their reaction. Because,
Get the fan. check it.
What's the time?
Yeah, check it out.
It's the end of the podcast, so it's easy.
See, this is all on Nick. Nick
Yeah.
But we're gonna bleep it out. I got all the editing I'm doing. I do it myself. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna bleep it out, man.
Oh, and also get ready for Eric's new Twitter account that's gonna happen soon. We don't know when it's gonna happen. but
Eric, I believe that one day, bro, you're gonna have a Twitter.
You have a
man.
dream?
We have a
a dream.
that Eric Santos will have a Twitter.
A Twitter account, man. You got to get on it, man. Be on the
Stay
lookout.
tuned.
We were talking about doing some very, very cool things. You might see the ring journals at your local independent show one day.
Absolutely.
You probably will.
We'll be slithering
Okay.
into
And
their
hopefully at a
shows.
boxing match or UFC event.
Yeah.
Pretty soon too.
In
Yes,
the
that's
future,
true.
man. We all over it, man. I had such a great time. We all had such a great time at
Yeah.
Survivor Series. The
Shout out
AEW
to everybody that we met.
meetup. It was phenomenal. Thank you so much, Aaron Rift. Thank you so much to everybody there. Y'all were amazing. I
see
just
you guys
love
again.
it, man. You know, if you're listening to this podcast for the first time and you met us from that event or you've heard about it, welcome to the battlefield. This is our passion, man. This is what we love talking about. This is who we are, both on and off the podcast, man. So we hope y'all enjoy, man. You know, we're not perfect, but we just like making great content, man. We just like making great content. Anything else?
I echo that 100%.
Yeah.
Survivor Series was fun.
Lot of
and
fun.
we're trying to get to the next event possible that comes in this area or any independent shows.
Somebody who actually on Facebook was like, "Hey, look, like you get to go so many wrestling shows. I'm jealous." I'm like, "Bro, you know how many wrestling shows I missed before this?
Yeah.
Like
good
I'm
point.
just catching
But
up."
we have
man.
been to 3 in the last year. That's
Yeah.
more than I'd ever done.
That's
one
more
year.
than me.
Yeah.
You know,
I went to more wrestling events than I went to Dodger games this year, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
That's awesome. Hey, man, but whether you're at a wrestling show, a UFC show, a boxing show, raise a glass in the sky and salute the ring generals.